It was 3 years ago at the Hungarian Grand Prix that Max Verstappen went from 10th on the grid to win the race with a 360 spin thrown in for good measure. It was an incredible display from the now 4-time world champion, driving a Red Bull that was heading toward the peak of his powers. 3 years later, and the odds on Max Verstappen going from 10th on the grid to win in Hungary this weekend, with or without a 360 spin, are as good as nothing. Red Bull's decline in form and the problems that have surrounded the team over the past 18 months meant that Max's future at the team was in question, with Mercedes very keen to hire the man who many perceive to be the best driver in the sport. That transfer has finally broken down, and Verstappen has given an incredible statement about Mercedes' part in it. Today, I'll check it all out, so don't go anywhere. When Christian Horner left Red Bull after the British Grand Prix a few weeks back, there were a lot of questions that needed answering. But perhaps the most immediate one was, what did it mean for Max Verstappen's future? Horner had to field questions about his star driver's future at the team for months. Horner's line had constantly been that Max had a contract with Red Bull and would be at the team at least until the end of that contract. Horner was the only person giving that answer though. Helmut Marko said he had no idea where Max would be next season, as he confirmed the existence of exit clauses that would allow Max to leave. Toto Wolff said that he thought Max might be at Mercedes next season, with months of talks between the two parties. George Russell said that Max might not be at Red Bull next season because his own contract talks with Mercedes were being delayed due to Mercedes talking to Max. George even admitted that he was exploring options outside of Mercedes in case the team did hire Max to replace him, stating that he would definitely have a seat for 2026, even if it wasn't at the Silver Arrows. Then there was Verstappen himself, who was asked an uncountable number of times to confirm he would be at Red Bull in 2026. Verstappen's answer was always that he wasn't focusing on next season and just wanted to do what he could in 2025. It would have been the easiest thing in the world for him to just say, "Yes, I will be at Red Bull in 2026," but he never did. Answers that basically boiled down to "I don't know" added fuel to what turned into a roaring fire. Well, finally, after months of dancing around the bonfire with every party adding fuel along the way, Verstappen has finally put the fire out. At the Hungarian Grand Prix, Max said, "I've never really said anything about it because I was just focused on talking to the team about how we can improve our performance, future ideas for next year as well. And that's why I have nothing really to add ever." But yeah, I think it's time to basically stop all the rumors. And for me, it's always been quite clear that I was staying anyway. I think that was also the general feeling in the team anyway, because we were always in discussions about what we could do with the car. And I think when you're not interested in staying, then you also stop talking about these kinds of things, and I never did. The timing of the statement from Verstappen is interesting. He could have said all of this at any point over the past however many months this has been going on for, basically the entire season it feels like. Instead, he's waited until Christian Horner has left the team to commit his future to them. It could be a complete coincidence, of course, but it is interesting timing. Maybe Verstappen, like the Red Bull board, saw Horner as a large factor in the team's decline over the past year. We'll never know for certain, of course, but it's interesting to think about. It is Verstappen's other statement regarding the transfer saga which never happened, which is the most surprising though. Max has claimed that the speculation surrounding him and a move to Mercedes is due to people wanting to create drama. People are waffling so much throughout the whole season, while the only one that actually can or should speak is not speaking. That's me, Max said to Sky Sports F1. And I do that on purpose because it makes no sense to start throwing things around. And actually, that should be the same for everyone. Some people just like to stir the pot, some people just like to create drama. But for me, it's always been quite clear. For next year, I'm already discussing with the team the plans and things that we want to change for next year, so that means that I am also staying with the team for next year. Whether Toto Wolff was the intended target for Verstappen's comments or not is uncertain, but Wolff was definitely the one making the most noise about this potential transfer to the media. Every weekend he was taking time to make sure that Max joining Mercedes made headlines in the F1 media. Also, Max say that he wasn't doing any speaking and wasn't the one stirring the pot, but that is completely untrue. As I said earlier, at any point during this season, during this whole saga, he could have said, "Yes, I will be at Red Bull in 2026," and the entire thing would have ended. He didn't though. He fueled the rumours and stirred the pot with his ambiguous answers. Verstappen may like to pretend that he is above playing the media for his own advantage, taking a holier-than-thou approach to things sometimes, but he's been doing it all season. Would Horner have kept his job if the rumours weren't there? Who knows, but it would definitely have made it easier for the now ex-Red Bull boss. With Verstappen now committed to Red Bull for next season, it means the Mercedes lineup is 99% confirmed, with George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli expected to receive contract extensions over the summer break. I say 99% because they haven't actually got the extensions yet, but there seems to be no other option for Toto Wolff now. Russell has always seen his future at Mercedes, but the team's pursuit of Verstappen meant he was the driver everyone expected to lose out in the transfer. It has affected him, and he spoke about the impact at the Hungarian Grand Prix. But before I talk about that, if you're enjoying this video and want to catch more news and analysis on this F1 season, then please press the like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. If George Russell had his way, he would never have been in the situation where he was having to answer questions about his future. After all, he was meant to be the future of Mercedes after Lewis Hamilton, and with a 7-time world champion now at Ferrari, it's now meant to be his time. With the Verstappen transfer now off the cards, Russell should be safe in the knowledge that there is a big contract extension coming his way. But according to George, that might not be the case. Sky Sports is also reporting that any new Russell deal might only guarantee him a seat for another year, meaning that Mercedes would still have a seat available for Verstappen if he wants to leave Red Bull next season. My whole career, until last year, the team has supported me so much and given me such amazing opportunities, said Russell. Our goals have been aligned, and what has been in the best interest of the team has also been in the best interest of me. These last 6 months have been a very unique situation where I don't have a huge power in that sort of agreement. Maybe the interests were not aligned for some time, which, of course, puts me at risk for these last 6 months. But then it was my job to perform and reduce that risk. It is a surprising statement from George and really shows how far along the line the Verstappen transfer got. In that statement, George has revealed that he didn't feel the team had his back and didn't know what was going to be happening next season. By saying their interests weren't aligned, he shows that while he wanted to stay, Mercedes were determined to get Verstappen. The 27-year-old went on to say that he trusts team principal Toto Wolff, but that a new contract must be right in both ways, meaning he won't just sign whatever they put in front of him, indicating that he wants more than a one-year deal, shutting off any chance of him losing his seat to Verstappen in 2027. I still trust in the team that they will always support me as long as I'm performing, so that's what I need to focus on, he said. But of course, for both Kimi and I, these past months have not been the most assuring for our future, and that's just been a bit conflicting. No one will blame Wolff for going after Verstappen. Any team would take him if they were given the opportunity. But has Wolff destabilized his own team in pursuit of Max? And could offering George a shorter contract force him out of the team with no guarantee of a good replacement? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you want to know more about what's happening with F1's driver lineups for next season, make sure to check out our recent video on the Cadillac F1 team and their potential driver lineup. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.